As a parent, I tend toward the overly analytical. I guess that's just who I am. I always say that if I were a superhero, I'd be overthinking mom, able to ferret out meaning from any facial tic, grunt, response, or lack thereof in lightning fast time. Because of this, watching my kids grow and learn has been like watching a social experiment. I search for the patterns, the deeper meanings, the messages between the lines for clues as to how to do it better. When I was a 30-something new mom of two sweet cherubs, I was as eager to explore the world with them as they were. I tried to curate a great environment for their optimal growth, and I wanted to make it all perfect. Of course, we all know perfection we believed was a thing about 10 years ago is not really a thing, so I was always disappointed when things didn't turn out as I expected. When they were young and I was trying to sleep at night, I would compose long lists about what kind of mom I was going to be for them. These lists were made up of promises to my kids, to encourage them but never push, to limit screen time to 1 hour per day, and to vet the television, movies, and music they were exposed to, protecting them from adult themes and vulgar language. I vowed they would be bathed daily, sweet-smelling, always dressed and ready for a photo op. I focused on all the ways I needed to mother them in order to nurture them into fully formed adults, good people with a quick wit, people I would want to spend time around. These lists never made it to paper, which is probably a good thing. Counting my neurotic good intentions was my version of counting sheep. But if they had, you can bet they would have been featured on their own multi-page scrapbook layout, mounted on archival quality acid-free paper, accented with stickers and hand-stamped accents. I'm not saying I would have taken a calligraphy class to get the lettering just so, but I'm not saying I wouldn't have either. It's a different world today. My scrapbooks are collecting dust, my scissors are dull, and that Groupon for calligraphy class has expired. My sweet cherubs have evolved into screeching gargoyles. That might be a slight exaggeration, but they're in puberty and I'm in menopause, so I think it's allowed. One thing that hasn't changed is the way I stay up at night, making lists of promises to do the best I can. So before they go full teenager and never hear me again, and as I morph from overthinking mom into easily distracted mom, maybe it's time to write stuff down. Instead of a well-planned scrapbook page, my list is captured with a partially dried out green magic marker on the back of a coffee-stained Algebra 1 paper that I really hope doesn't need to be turned in. And the promises I would write today are a bit different than the ones I whispered back then. I still promise to encourage my kids and push them hard. They're smart, they know how to work hard, and I expect them to earn scholarships. And since I'm not paying for college, I'll kick in for therapy. I think I know where their anxiety comes from. I'll remind them to spend at least 1 hour per day off their screens. I promise not to lose my cool when my Netflix queue is loaded with episodes of Doctor Who and iZombie. And I promise not to get mad when they swear, but only when it's in the context of the song and they're singing it in my car, because there's a time and place for everything. We may not be photo ready, but I promise to make sure they shower daily, or at least before leaving the house. Smelling like a dirty sweat sock and looking like you combed your hair with a slice of bologna is neither natural nor eco-friendly. Don't be that guy. Nobody likes that guy. I promise to ask before sharing photos of them on social media. Yes, that's a hard promise to make, especially on Throwback Thursday when I have all those pictures of them dressed up in costumes or dressed down to their skivvies. They know the pictures I'm speaking of, but in the spirit of keeping this promise, I will say no more. I promise to try not to be the helicopter, lawnmower, tiger martyr mom that you hear about on the news. No guarantee, but I'll try. And since I never put leashes on them as children, I promise not to embed tracking chips in them as teenagers, regardless of what my internet search history shows. I promise to teach them the difference between being a good example and being a cautionary tale. Sometimes these will be live performances by me. Like the one time I took the shopping cart for a ride in the superstore and it ended rather painfully. I think I saw the security camera footage on America's Funniest Home Videos last week. But I did it on purpose because cautionary tale. I promise to pay attention to their needs, to their accomplishments, to the things they overlook, like their unmade beds, their overdue library books, and that thing on the floor. What is that thing? They keep pretending they don't see it, but come on, they can find Waldo in like 6 seconds. I'm not buying it. Dude, I will not stop using slang. That's whack. My generation honed the use of slang to a fine point. But fine, I'll tone it down around their friends. Nobody likes a mom who tries too hard. #awkward. But how can I not try too hard? Because here's the problem. Even if my kids are teenagers, even if they drive me crazy on the daily, I'll always be their mom. I'll always love them, cheer for them, yell for them, sometimes at them, and I'll always have their backs and be a soft place to fall. And that's a promise.